Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Access, a social media program presented and produced by the UWI Open Campus. I'm your co-host, Sharice Glasgow.
And I'm your co-host, Cleveland Sam. Thank you for joining us from wherever you
Sam,
are.
we can't hear.
Thank you for joining us wherever you are on the World Wide Web. Are you hearing me now? Yes? So thank you for joining us. The Open Campus hosted its 2021 graduation ceremony on Saturday, October 16, 2021. Today, we speak with three recent graduates of the UWI Open Campus, and they will present their stories to us as we listen to their experiences of studying at the Open Campus.
Yes. Our guests today are three young ladies, Shani Cook from Jamaica, Samantha Morissette from St. Lucia, and Stacy St. Cyr from Grenada. Ladies, welcome to Let's Talk Access. We're very glad to have you today as our guests. Okay, we're going to let you introduce yourselves and tell us a bit more about who you are and why you decided to study with the Open Campus. Let's start with Shanique.
Hi, good night, everyone. My name is Shani Cook. I am a recent graduate of the University of the West Indies Open Campus. I did my bachelor's degree in accounting. And the reason why I chose UWI as my first choice to study with is because of the convenience and the type of access that it gives me. Because I was able to do my degree from wherever I was in the world. So I could be at home, be at class, do my homework, be on a vacation, doing classes and connecting with my teachers at the same time. That wasn't an issue at no point. I had my teachers on call at any point, and also I also gained like new experiences from the exposure, and I also got new friends. So even though we were, say, miles apart, we were very close. So it was very easy for me to pursue my degree and not without feeling left out or feeling far or thinking that because I'm not in a classroom setting, it would have been difficult for me reaching people. No, it wasn't like that at all. I still felt welcome. I still felt like I had my teacher in my corner, my peers, and it was pretty much the same setting as being in a classroom, same fun environment. So it was a great experience for me.
Thank you, Samantha.
Hi, everyone. My name is Samantha Morissette. I'm 28 years old, and I recently graduated from the University of the West Indies Open Campus St. Lucia. As of July 2021, that's what my completion letter would have had. So I want to start by saying I'm very happy to be joining in on this live and sharing my experiences. And of course, I'm happy to have completed my studies because I've come a long way. I started in 2015 and I have now completed in 2021. So like the young lady mentioned before me, that would be Shanique. I really enjoyed the experience. Completing my degree online, it did allow me, like she said, to be on vacation and be able to put my assignments in on time and different things. It was a fun experience, an enjoyable one. It's what worked for me. I mean, back in 2015, I would have been around 21 and I would have looked left and right and noticed a lot of my friends traveling to different parts of the world to complete their studies, but I needed a more affordable way. I needed a way that I could have studied whilst I worked. And it worked out really well for me. I was able to gain experience whilst I worked. So I'm very happy the place I am at now. And I think looking back, I would make the decision again to complete my studies online. So UWI has contributed to my growth overall. And yeah, it's really allowed my life to progress nicely. Socially, professionally, I was very involved in different things at home, like carnival and different things while studying and completing my degree. Overall, it helped me with skills like time management, teamwork, as various and a good bit of the assignments would have incorporated group work. I completed the business management degree with marketing. I was able to get into the marketing course, which was introduced during the earlier stages of my completion of my degree. And it was really interesting to see how the work, I could have applied the work I was learning, so the theory, to my actual work experiences. So for example, I would have been a sales representative for a good period whilst I was studying. And there would be courses like personal selling and business strategy and various other marketing courses that I saw in real life in the workplace. So overall, I'm very content, more than satisfied. I'm really happy with my experience at UWI. So I'm glad to share that experience with everybody.
Good night, everyone. I am Stacy Sincere. Samantha, I'm not going to share my age. I'll just say I'm old enough to be sitting here on this forum tonight. But it's funny enough that this question was posed as to why the University of the West Indies Open Campus. I've never given it any thought. What I can say to you is that the completion of this bachelor's degree for me was actually about 10 years in the making. And when I made the decision, it was not which university. I always knew it would be the UWI Open Campus. It was more so settling on a course of my choice. As a teacher for close to 16 years now, it was ideal for me to continue to work with my students, to gain, as Samantha would have shared, to gain the skills to better deliver what I deliver to them. And also it allowed me even more flexibility to still continue to mother my two girls and to continue as wife to my husband. And it was present. Now we offered a homegrown experience. For me, it was easy to be able to go into Open Campus. It was easy. If I'm having a challenge, I can pick up the phone. I can reach out to peers who are sharing similar challenges, having similar experiences. So it was not per se a cultural shock of sorts. It was a home-based type of experience. So for me, really, in actuality, UWI, as I said, was my only choice when I decided to complete my bachelor's degree. And that degree was in language education. As a teacher, I'm a teacher of English language and literature. I would have completed my teacher's training in 2005. So when I said the degree was 10 years in the making, it took some time after that for me to get to the point, considering all other challenges. But with all challenges considered, the UWI Open Campus really offered a platform where whatever the challenge was, you were able to pursue your goal. And, that's something that is very, very commendable for me.
Wow, I'm really, smiling from ear to ear, listening to the stories and particularly yours, Stacy. I can definitely identify with you and your story in terms of being a parent and a spouse and, all of the different challenges. But at the end of the day, you guys overcome. So congratulations once again. Tell me, the graduation was a virtual graduation, the second virtual graduation the campus held. how was the graduation experience? What did you do? What were you doing on that Saturday afternoon or evening? Tell us, share with us how you enjoyed, how you spent the graduation experience.
Oh my, but I'm going back to my 10 years in the making. And I can recall many nights when I would have to say to my family, listen, I'm here, but I'm not really here. Just be sure to handle yourselves, but I'm working on an assignment. I'm doing this. So really this degree we earned it in this household. And so we were looking forward to graduation. We were all looking forward to wherever it was going to be held, we would be there. That was not the case. So we went out, we would have purchased our champagne because we were going to have this graduation, and all the same, even though it was virtual. We got dressed up, still wore my white dress. I mean, I did not have the gown to put on in the house, but I got into the white dress. The family got all dressed up, and we made it special in the home. Funny enough, I'm sitting there, I'm in my living room, and it's live streamed. And for some reason, when my name is called, I am just overtaken with this set of emotion that I did not expect while looking at a screen that I'm pretty sure was pre-recorded. And I'm there and I'm emotional. I'm wondering, well, why am I feeling this way? This is not the real deal. But it meant so much to me and we know the challenges. I'm sure Samantha will share, Shani will share, the challenges that we would have overcome to get to that point, even though it was virtual. I would have preferred to walk the stage, but again, being there, and we did work as a family to make it quite an experience for me.
Awesome stuff. So I love it. We earned that degree. Other ladies?
Mine was a little different from Stacey's experience as it relates to the virtual ceremony and where we watched it. I actually watched it in the car with my family. My aunt, who is actually head at the campus here, she was the one really pushing me to enjoy and be excited about it. Honestly, my experience is a little different because I was a little down on myself because I wanted to complete my degree faster. It was my fault because I would have had to. What I did was whereas I wanted to accelerate my course with UWI, I slowed it down. Life got in the way. I have a 1-year-old. And different things, yes. But she really pumped me up and got me excited. In St. Lucia, we actually had a curfew at 4 p.m. So the what was it? The virtual ceremony started at 4, right?
Yes.
So we watched it in the car right before we got back into the house. But in the car, it was my family, my loving family, and they rooted for me whilst we watched it on her cell phone screen. And it was really nice, my family watching that with me. But we made sure we stopped and saw me cross the stage before we went on driving.
So you had an automobile graduation experience.
More or less, yes.
All right, Jamaica.
Yes, okay, so for me, the graduation, the excitement began with my mom. She's more excited than I was. So, oh, my daughter is graduating, so I need to send this to the world. So she would send a WhatsApp to everybody, all of her friends, all of my friends, and you need to stream. You need to go on Facebook, and she'll give them the instruction and the details because she's overseas. So, and I'm in Jamaica. And then she dressed up and she sent me the pictures, and I had to ensure, like after I took my graduation pictures in Kingston with the gown, I had to ensure that I send her those photos so she can show everybody because, she's so excited. I was excited too because all my life I always dreamt of graduating from university.
Right.
And also UWI. I always loved that blue gown and the hat aspect, even though I didn't graduate in a hat because that was a part of my gown, but I was always excited to walk across the podium in that gown. And even though I did not get to walk across the podium, it was virtual. It was the same excitement for me because I sent a link to all of my friends and they tuned in and they were sending out congratulations. So I still felt the excitement that I was expecting.
All right, all right. Different experiences, but all enjoyable nonetheless. All right, Cherise?
Yes. I just want to ask you, ladies, what career or professional paths are you pursuing? You've graduated, would you be changing your careers and professional paths, or would you be continuing on with what you were doing whilst or before you were in UWI?
Okay, so for me, I will be continuing. I did my bachelor's degree in accounting because I'm actually good with figures, so I chose that part. So I will be continuing my career in accounting. So I will be going down that road with the figures.
For me, I started out studying business management, and then, like I mentioned earlier, I got the opportunity to pick up the marketing degree. And funny, when I started even working, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I was confused when I did my A levels, sixth form. I was into science, but my first job, it influenced my career path. So it would have been more sales and marketing I'm interested in. And I'm currently in a marketing officer position at a leading retail business in St. Lucia. So I'm pretty sure having the University of the West Indies on my CVs when I'm applying, when I applied, would have given me that extra boost, even though it had a slash, which meant I wasn't done yet, but I was working towards my degree. So marketing is the field I became interested in. I have my degree in it, and I'm looking forward to growing in that career field.
All right, good stuff. Well, Stacy is a teacher.
Yes, yes. I am a teacher, as I would have shared earlier. However, while just before I began in the final year of my studies, I was promoted from the classroom into admin at my school. And I'm not going to share too much about that transition because that might take a whole other program. But what I can say is that the degree that I would have earned in education, it helps me a lot with what I'm doing now. I still have some amount of oversight in the language classroom because, you know, every so often I have to, in the literature and language classroom, every so often I will pop in and share, or teachers can, you know, bounce ideas off of me. But I chose education as a career, and that's where I would see myself growing and growing even further.
All right, great. And just before we go to the next question, I just want to remind viewers and potential students that you can be like our guests in another couple of years. Just a reminder that our applications are open for the January 2022 intake. You have until November 30th for postgraduate applications and December 15th for undergraduate applications. Log on to our website and apply, www.apply.open.uwi.edu, and that's it. That's really where you need to start, and you can end up right here where Stacy, Samantha, and Shanique are right now. In fact, before I bring in Cherise to ask the next question, I want to ask you, when you took that decision to apply to the Open Campus, how easy or difficult did you find the application process? Because this was pretty new, I'm sure, for most of you. This was an entirely online process. So you didn't have to go to Sir Arthur and hand in an application, or you didn't have to go to, what's the community college in Grenada called again? You know, you didn't have to go there and drop off an application. You have to go online and do everything online. How was that process for you guys?
The application process was a smooth one in terms of the feedback and the timeliness of the feedback. So I knew way ahead that I would be starting UWI at the end of July, the year that I began. There was some amount of, while a portion of the application was online, when I had to take in my documents, that would be at Mary Show House here in Grenada, which is where the open campus office is. I would have taken that in, and then the response time between the application and the acceptance letter was pretty short. So I knew a couple of months before that I would be starting UWI, and then after I started to put things in place to begin.
Okay.
And so for me, that too was hassle-free for me, because I actually learned about the open campus from a student that would have graduated before me. So when I heard about it, what I did, I went online, viewed the application, and did a bit of research. And I applied and I got a response within a timely manner. So that for me wasn't challenging. And then I found out that there was a site within my reach, like in my town. So I felt even more comfortable.
Great.
And for me, I want to be very honest, since I feel like that was a long time ago that I would have applied. I can't exactly remember the step-by-step process I would have done, but I do remember getting my response and being excited about it. But I know it was an easy process. It was online. I probably followed the very simple instructions and got applied.
All right, Cherise.
Viewing can see how easy it is to apply to become a future UWI Open Campus student. Let us just jump right into the next question. Can you tell us a little bit of your overall Open Campus experience? Tell us what it was like for you with your classes, how you handled that, those aspects, along with your other personal and professional life. Anyone can start.
Okay, Cherise, I'll jump in there. It was quite the juggle. I'll tell you this. I started in 2016, eager, the brand new schoolgirl back at it. Jump right in there. And then I remembered while in there, I'm there and everything is still happening. Everything around me was still the same. So household responsibilities, the requirements from the job, everything. And at the end of the second semester, first year, I said, you know what? This is not going to work. I'm clearly, no, this is not happening. So I said, I'm taking summer off so that I can breathe and return. And summer went into first semester, second year, and then into second semester, second year. But somehow because as I said, when I made the decision, I always knew that it would be UWI. So I got to the place after I took that very lengthy summer off. I said, listen, you have to get things together and go back at it and get it done. And now at least I'm going back into it, having experienced the first 2 semesters, having experienced the pace, experienced the interface, the sessions. And, so I would have met with the family. We discussed, okay, listen, I'm going to need you. You're tiny, but you're going to be responsible for the dishes. You'll be responsible for, breakfast. I'll handle lunch. This, we took different roles and I went back there. When I started again in 2017, thereabout, I knew this was I'm in it for the long haul. In terms of the classes, I'm going to be very, very honest. I mean, as any person who attends school, some classes are greater than others. Some are more challenging than others. But all the same, it's not that, okay, well, this one is a bit challenging, so I'm going to give up on it. It just means that you roll up your sleeves, as we would say, and you get in there and you get it done. What I appreciated was the sessions, especially those courses where a lecturer would go the extra mile to even create a group that we can meet even outside of the UWI interface, the online interface. So I still have lecturers on my phone I can message. Hi, miss, how are you? What's going on? What I also appreciated with the studies was, the linkages. I was able, there are times I worked in groups with members from Jamaica, from Trinidad, from St. Lucia. And we formed relationships that are still up to date, ongoing. Now, they're classes like any other classes. And I'm going back to my opening statement, homegrown. Whenever we would meet on the BBC sessions, we engage in discussions. These are discussions and the topics and the issues were very, very relatable. All right. I can share, there were times, you're running in between to get stuff completed to submit. Deadlines are there blinking at you, but not deadlines that snuck up on you, because they were there from the time you registered at the beginning of the semester. So you knew those deadlines existed, but of course, with everything else that was happening, there are times when you would reach so close. However, ever so often you may be able to say, miss, listen, miss, it's no, this is really a lot for me. Can I have, is it possible? And we work together. Yes, a possible extension. A lot is happening with me here right now, and I really can't make it. And there's not a time that I've reached out in that way and I was told, no, this is the deadline. You either make it or zero. So that is something that I appreciated a lot during the course, because I needed it ever so often. Not for all the courses, but
Yeah, great. Great testimony. Shanique, Samantha.
So Stacy, in telling her story, it had me getting flashes of my experiences over the past few years. For me, I feel like I've done it all and seen it all. I feel like we've both been there for a good bit. Basically, my experience would have been discussions. I think every course has discussions, right? And I feel like this is where I want to share a trick.
Go ahead, we're listening.
Trick, and I mean, that's something to always remember if you're starting UWI. Get your discussions done on time, do them well. The thing is, do them on time. I would have been naughty, and some discussions I wouldn't want to do. Like, for me, my strength is in the exam room. So when it came to coursework, I'd be like, ugh, I can't, But the trick is to get your coursework grades. Get these done. Get them done in a timely fashion, and I mean, the rest is like magic. So. I learned this over time for sure, and it really got me through to the end. And of course,
discussions.
Get your discussions done. I don't want to say easy marks, but once you have an idea and you share your idea, this is how you view a topic, and you maybe discuss it well. It puts you ahead. So that's something I want to leave with everybody. Do your discussions well. Group assignments. Always participate. Don't be the weight in a group. It's always important because all group assignments have scores at the end. Pay attention to presentations. If you can't make the presentations, there's most times there's recordings, etc. So my experience, and I'm giving tips, but that's my experience, and this is what I would have liked to come on and have a show, you know, look at a show like this one during my time, and somebody to tell me these things. So
Well,
that, yeah,
you're
these were my,
using your time to do it now.
I know, yeah. So and like Stacey mentioned, I was able to get in touch with some of my CC's course coordinators and tutors outside of the space. So if they at the beginning of the school year or semester, sometimes they share their Skype or their WhatsApp, and they may be available during certain times. It's nice to reach out to them if you have any questions and whatnot. So I did some of that in some instances. I did have some instances where I had to be like, Miss, I need a little time. I would have been pregnant at one point during my degree. So all of these things. So it's a well-rounded experience I would have had.
Great.
Okay, so for me, so I actually applied for the University of the West Indies back in 2015. However, I did not start then because I didn't have enough fun. And I planned to work and to send myself to school. So I reapplied in 2016, and that's when I actually started my journey at the university. This was actually new for me. Online schooling was very new for me. I'm like, how am I going to do this? I mean, a full-time job and school, how am I going to do this? Because I always just wanted to do, say, one thing at a time. So you actually taught me, well, I had no choice but to multitask because I wanted my degree and I needed to fund it. So I needed to work my full-time job. So I started in 2016, went online, actually go through the application to see how the courses were outlined, where do I go to find my assignments, when is the deadline. And I also checked to see who I could reach out to in terms of to find, say, a friend, like a study friend, or somebody that I could ask a question. And then I had the teachers, well, most of the teachers, what they did, they provided us with their WhatsApp number, so we could always reach them at any point. And we also had their email, their Skype, and they had like 24 hours to respond to us, in which they did. And sometimes within less than 24 hours, most times a few minutes after, because they're normally online, they were easy to access. And also for the classes, I actually love how the classes were structured. So in the event that you were working and you missed a class, you could always go back and view the recording, or if you wanted to go over the class at your own pace, you could also do that. So most times for me, like say a 2-hour class, I would go over it, take like a 4-hour and go over it bit by bit and make my notes. And we always had like our WhatsApp group. So we had like our little discussion, and then there was the online discussion as well. When I saw that, I'm like, an online discussion? How does this work? That was my reaction. I'm like, how this work? I'm going to talk to people like online, like discuss. But it was actually fun. I found it very fun and entertaining at times, because the writing still felt like we were having a live conversation, like we were seeing each other. We got the same jokes from the discussion. So it was quite interesting for me. And then meeting different people, different culture, background, and then the language, sometimes it's a bit different from the mine here in Jamaica, especially the Creole aspect of it. So some of the words, I might find them funny, or some of the slang, and then we will share our culture and background with our peers. And I actually got, say, a lifetime friendship from UWI.
There you go.
Yeah, Michelle and I, we actually talk up until now. She was here in Jamaica in the summer. My son and I, we spent like a whole week together, and we talk on the phone practically every day about any little thing. So we actually have that bond. My son
Where's
calls her
Michelle from?
auntie.
Which island is Michelle from?
Oh, Michelle is actually, I think it's Barbados. It's a Caribbean island. I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't remember. It's a Caribbean island.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
Yes.
So again, just to remind prospective applicants that applications for the January 2022 intake are open, and for those hoping to pursue postgraduate studies, like my friend there from Grenada, I hope you're doing the Masters in Education Leadership, as you have been promoted and all of that to admin. You have until the 30th of November to submit your applications. If you're applying for undergraduate programs, you have until December 15th to apply for those programs. And you can log on to www.apply.open.uwi.edu. And of course, you can check our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages to find out all the information that you want to find out about our application process and the documents that you need in order to complete your application. Cherise?
Yes, I was just hearing about your experience in terms of how you balance UE and how you balance your studies with your family and your jobs. But can you tell us what would you say was the best aspect of your journey at Open Campus? Just that moment that you could recall when you think back. Stacey,
mine would be very short. I feel like being that my experience was online, I am flashing back and I'm seeing myself when I receive my grades. So definitely when I go to check my grades, that would have been like one of the exciting times during my period studying.
And for me,
yes. Oh, sorry.
Like Samantha said, one of my experience or best moment was actually after you do like the exam and you would go to check to see if the grade is actually there, and realizing that, oh yes, I passed the course, I don't have to go back through this, especially if it's one of those courses that you found very challenging. And another moment for me was when I realized that I was actually doing my last course. Yes, I'm out of UWI. That was my moment.
Oh, gosh. Of course, I know we all enjoyed checking the portal for grades. For me, I would share an experience I had with a group assignment. We were tasked with doing a debate online, written. Send your piece, then respond to your opponent's bit, read, rebut, respond, the whole work without having the debate like this. And I can remember one night we were working on our rebuttal in our group, and there was a member one of the members, she shared with us some challenges she was having. She participated, but she was having some challenges. And it was 4 of us, but by the end of the night, it was just 2 of us finishing up. And why that experience stands out to me, it's just how we rallied around each other and supported each other through that process. And I would say complete strangers. But okay, at this point, my teammate is weak. I would say weak. There's a challenge there, but I'm going to cover. So maybe the next time I'm not able to hear my teammates there covering. And that for me meant a whole lot, because at that point I said, you know what? I'm really not in this alone. This is all of us. And if we continue with this, we have no choice but to make it. So that, of course, is one of the, and it's something that I would remember forever.
All right, all right, all right. So the grade, checking the platform, the learning exchange for those grades seem to have been a highlight for everyone. What about the whole aspect? I know Shanique from Jamaica mentioned it in passing, but the whole aspect of regional integration. How did you find this? I mean, because you mentioned group work in a really positive way, but I know not everyone has positive experiences. But in terms of the whole aspect of regional integration, how did you find that playing out over the period of your studies?
At first, it was like, wow. I mean, I'm listening to this tutor who has a completely different accent from myself. Not only that, when they listen to me or hear my voice, I'm sounding different to them. And, you know, like you said, it's some serious integration going on, but after a while you get used to it. I mean, it's a positive thing, but then you get used to it. So you're not surprised when you hear your new course coordinator's voice or the new tutor's voice. But it was actually refreshing. It was nice to listen to lectures. That even made my lectures more interesting for me, that I was hearing it in a completely different accent, maybe Jamaican, maybe a Bayesian accent, maybe a Trini accent. So it made my experience even nicer and enjoyable.
Regional integration. I'm going to share this bit with you all. I am actually born and grown in Guyana. I've been living in Grenada for just over 15 or so years, a couple of years. And so it was really a mix. And I loved, like Samantha, I look forward to hearing okay, so who is my new lecturer for this course, or course coordinator, especially having majored in language studies. And diving into it. There was one lecturer in particular, Shani, from Jamaica, who would, even in our session, she would always add a little bit of Jamaican music for us to enjoy, you know, just to lighten the mood. And, you know, in studying the language, there were courses where it actually helped that I can call classmate from St. Lucia. What does this mean? I'm teaching my children literature. We may read a story and there's some St. Lucian dialect there. Okay, I know Samantha. Samantha is in St. Lucia. Samantha, what does this statement mean? And then I go to class like, okay, here I am. I know what this is. And this is St. Lucian and this means such and such, you know, like I've known this forever. But I just got it from Samantha on WhatsApp just before I came to class. But it helped with those things. That's why I keep saying it's homegrown. So it really is specific to what we're doing. And that's something that I really, really appreciated.
Great, great. All right. And I think one of you may have mentioned this, but I know it must have been because all three of you have careers as well as child or children. And it must have been a significant balancing act. You, Stacey, said that you actually had a family meeting at the beginning of this thing where chores were distributed, you know, to the children and the husband as well. So that's really great. And I think this is one of the great things about studying at the open campus, that your family actually becomes part of the experience with you.
That is correct. And I'm sure I would have mentioned before, the degree, this is a family degree. They were all in it. when there were times when I'm invested in completing an assignment, they knew that, okay, mommy is working on, my husband knew, okay, she's working on an assignment, she's working on a paper. They knew what they needed to do to activate their roles to get it done so that I can get my part done. So when we got to this point, even when I went to Open Campus to pick up my hard copy of my certificate, I brought it home and I said, yay, here's our degree. And, you know, everyone is there, here's our degree. And it even has my children now. They are talking about when they do their degree. Mommy, am I going to study on, I don't think I want to study, am I going to study online? Will I do this? Well, they are talking about when, and one is in primary school, the other just started secondary, but they're already having that conversation. So it was a good thing to have me doing this here in the house, because this is now set the path for my children. This is the direction that you're heading in.
So they have developed an appreciation for studying.
Definitely.
Awesome. Awesome. Any of my other guests want to jump in?
All right. So for me, I actually had my son. I think it was, I did 1 year, and then I gave birth to my son. This was in September. Now we all know school starts August. So after I gave birth to my son would be in one hand on the breast, and the other hand would be on the computer doing those assignments, because I need to get my degree and I need to be a mom. So you would definitely taught me to multitask, like I said before. Yes.
You know, Shani, this is not the first story I've heard like this. We did some interviews earlier this year with some of the Doctor of Education students, and I'm sure my friend from St. Vincent wouldn't mind I calling her name, that one of our doctoral students who graduated in March, she had, in January, she had a similar story that she was actually at the hospital with her son. She on the hospital bed, and one of her sons next to her, and the laptop on her while she was lying down in the hospital bed. So these are awesome stories. These are awesome stories. Yes. Samantha, do you have any such stories for us?
My balancing would have been more or less the same, because like I mentioned earlier, I had my son, so I went through the morning sickness, the this, the that, and having assignments to submit and whatnot. And then when he actually was here, I had my last project to submit. That wasn't too bad because it was something I had to complete on its own. I didn't have other subjects to attend to, so it wasn't that bad when he was actually here. And in terms of balancing in general, I remember being poolside submitting assignments, because like I mentioned, I would have tried to summer classes maybe would have clashed with vacations, and you really want to get your summer classes done so that you can accelerate your completion of your degree and whatnot. So yeah, the balancing, I can go on and on about the different places that I would have been submitting assignments. But yeah, it was definitely a balancing act, but I got through.
All right, could you believe it? We have been talking for 55 minutes. Charisse, I know you have one big final question that you would want to ask our guest.
After hearing your amazing stories and your amazing journey through this experience, what advice would each of you give to any persons who are viewing or who would view this on joining the UWI Open Campus? What advice would you give any prospective students?
Right, so my advice to them would be to choose the UWI Open Campus as their choice of study, because this actually gives you a lot of opportunity, and you also get to do your studies from wherever it is you are, wherever that you are comfortable. It allows you to be a mom, to be a wife, to have a full-time job. It doesn't stop you any at all. It doesn't stop or pause any aspect of your life. So I would encourage them to choose UWI Open Campus as their first choice of study.
I'll go next. So just mirroring what Shanique mentioned, it is a great decision to pursue your education with the UWI Open Campus. And I mentioned some little bits of advice earlier, but I'll just go through quickly again as it relates to actually completing this course. My advice is to make sure you give it your all when you're completing your coursework. Know your strengths, know if you're better at exams, if you're better at completing the assignments throughout the semester, and that will help you ensure you pass. Participate in the BBCs, that's the Blackboard Collaborates that are available to you guys. Always check your emails regularly because, in fact, turn on post notifications for your emails. You do not want to miss a single email from your course coordinators and other memos that are sent out daily. And just shoot for the stars, shoot for A's, shoot for honors, and never give up.
Amazing. For me, I would say to anyone who is interested, the word is start. Once you start, you have to finish. You're going to finish. Start. So do not spend time procrastinating, deliberating, why, oh, but I have these children, this husband, this wife, this job, all these hats that I wear. How am I going to do this? Just start. That would be my advice to anyone. You're here, you're looking. It means that the idea has already been planted there. You are ready for it. There's no challenge that is too great that should keep you away from it, because what you would feel at the end, there's nothing that can compensate for it. So my word is start. That's my advice. Just start.
Just start. And if you want to start, just a reminder, the application process is open right now for the January intake. If you want to do a postgraduate program, you have until the 30th of November to apply. If you're applying for an undergraduate program, your deadline is the 15th of December. So how about this? How about giving yourself the best Christmas gift and give yourself the gift of applying to the open campus on the 15th of December to ensure that in another 3 to 5 years, you have your bachelor's degree, graduating like our 3 guests. Remember, you can log on to our application portal, www.apply.open.uwi.edu. Charisse, take us away.
I just want to say we have a message for Shani on YouTube from Ramona Samuel. She just wants to say congrats and she's so proud of you. I know that is the sentiment that a lot of your family and friends and teachers would be feeling. And we want to thank you for joining us and for making the program such a success tonight. So once again, thank you to our panelists, Shani Cook from Jamaica, Samantha Morissette from St. Lucia, and Stacey St. Cyr from Grenada. We want to wish you all the best in your future endeavors on behalf of myself, Dr. Sama, and the UWI Open Campus community. We also want to thank our technical team, Mr. Patrick Johnson, Louis Boxell, Marcia Reed, Richard Barth, for handling everything, the questions and the queries from behind the scenes. Until next time, I'm your co-host, Charisse Glasgow.
And I'm Cleveland Sam.
Bye.
Goodbye.